A year and a half before I met Jeff, I read a book and it told you to make a list of the person that you're looking for and the qualities that you're looking for in a husband. And so I made my list, and what it was is for the person to have a heart for God, for them to be honest, for them to be good looking, someone who's funny, who can make me laugh, someone who's attentive, someone who's a problem solver, and someone who's generous with compliments.
Angela and I met through work, and it was really funny. When I first met Angela at work, I didn't know that it was going to lead to this at all, but I knew that she was somebody that I really enjoyed and wanted to spend a lot of time with, and I always looked forward to the negotiation. We'd only work together once every 2 or 3 months, and I always looked forward to that, and always had a great time with it. And I'm just amazed that it's come to this.
So the night that Jeff and I got engaged, I went home and I went to my drawer where I keep this, and I keep it in my Bible, and I looked at it and I read over it, and it was just shocking to me because Jeff was every single one of these qualities, and I'd completely forgotten that I'd ever made the list. Jeff and I met through work. I was working at iMart as a buyer and he was my rep. And so the first time that we ever met, we talked on the phone for a really long time, and we would have business lunches and just hang out, and we were just really, really, really good friends. And I changed jobs and kind of moved on, and we just continued to stay friends, and then that friendship evolved into a romance.
First time I met Angela was on a business lunch, and she was my client. I sold advertising to her. And it was actually one of the first lunches that I'd gone on my own. I'd only been a rep at that time for 3 or 4 months.
Jeff asked me out first, for sure. It's always our funny joke because he says that he pursued me for a very long time. But I always tell him that I knew that the moment that I said yes to going out with him, it'd be a serious relationship. And it'd be something forever.
I was really excited about meeting Angela and seeing who this girl was I talked to on the phone and had a good time with. But it was all business. It was a business lunch, and it was funny. We've talked about it since then, and we both kind of think of it the same way. It wasn't date or anything, no sparks at that time. It was a business lunch.
The thing he probably meets the most is that he's funny and can make me laugh. And I think that that's important because if you don't have laughter in a marriage or in a friendship, then it's just boring.
I didn't have a list, but it didn't take long after Angela and I were going out to know that if I had a list, she'd be the match on every one.
Planning the wedding's been the most fun I could ever have. You could have never asked me to do a more perfect job than planning my own wedding. Being an event planner, that's just my ideal everything. So getting to anticipate this day and having the day come is just more excitement. I'm just giddy.
Angela's best quality is her patience. A lot of times I get frustrated and a little overwhelmed with things, and she always knows how to talk me through and to help me to be patient with me until I find my way through it and come to the right answer. It seems like she's known it all along. There probably will be a lot of changes. Angela and I have not lived together. In fact, we've lived quite a ways apart. It's 20 minutes between us. And so there's been just a whole lot of back and forth. It's gonna be nice to just be able to relax and be together and not have to plan how we're gonna get together every day. And I think we'll just get closer and things will be better.
Once we're married, I see us growing closer together, getting more used to each other. We dated for a year, we dated for 6 months, got married 9 months later, so Jeff and I still have a lot to learn about each other, but I think that's going to be the fun part, because if we knew everything about each other right now, we'd be bored. Because I know that my friendships with my girlfriends are so important, and the women's groups that I'm in at church are just, you can't replace those, so I know how important those times are, and I'll be just excited to go shopping with my mom while he goes to play golf. Be just fine with me.
You know, since we started dating, there hadn't been quite as much skeet shooting. There hadn't been nearly as much golf. There hadn't been as many guys' nights. But I really look for some of that to kind of change. I look for us both to get back to enjoying our friends as well as enjoying each other, spending time together. A family's going to be a lot of fun. I've always thought that kids are going to be a blast, and with Angela, I know they will. I really think having a family with Angela is going to be a great thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Family with Jeff will be good because I'm a little terrified of family, and Jeff's very calm about it, so I think that we'll be a good balance. And he wants 4 and I want 2, so I think we'll settle on 2.
When I first decided that I wanted to date Angela, I was working with her. I was her rep. She was my client. So the answer was no, we can't do that. And I asked for a long time. But finally one time she told me, single people should carry a resume. They should always have a resume with them and ready to hand out. And it was kind of a joke, but it was a last ditch effort. One day I put this resume together and went over to her work and bothered her when she didn't need to be bothered. And she's really frustrated that I was even there.
Before I even saw Jeff, I had a phone crush on him because I thought he was really funny on the phone. So the first time I saw him, I think I was just really nervous because he was one of the first client lunches that I ever had. So I don't know that I was just like, oh my God, this guy is great looking. I was more like, oh my gosh, I have to go to lunch with a rep. I was more nervous than anything.
And as I left, I handed her this envelope. It had her address on it, and inside was the resume. And I thought, well, this will do it or it won't. We'll just see. And she didn't talk to me for a week. And then when she did talk to me, it was to tell me that we didn't need to talk anymore, and that went on for another 2 weeks. So after that, it's even more amazing that we came to this. But now she's real proud of the resume. Has it front page in her scrapbook, and it's one of her favorite things to talk about.
Oh, my friends always love Jeff on first impression. He makes a great first impression, and we dated for such a short period of time that a lot of them met Jeff. A lot of my sorority sisters and really close friends who live far away met Jeff after we got engaged, and they'd just give him huge hugs. I'm so glad she's marrying you type things whenever they did meet him. Dad liked Jeff, and it's the family joke that Dad and Jeff are so much alike, it's eerie. They tell the same jokes, they like the same things, they putter the same way, and so Dad and Jeff just get along great.